Hi, welcome back. A few weeks ago, I asked you to give me your hottest gacha takes, and I got way more comments than I imagined I would get, so thank you. Every comment will get a score out of 5, 0 being completely invalid and stupid, and 5 being a take that everybody should adopt. So, let's not waste too much time and get straight into it. Limbus is really mid. Okay, Arknights is mid. Okay, are we really gonna do this? Just before we jump into the content, I've got something I want to talk to you about. Creating these videos over the past 2 years has been super fun, but it's also a lot of work. So help me make more content for you by checking out Rage Shadow Legends. I'm sure you all know about it at this point. It's a fun fantasy-themed turn-based RPG game, all about collecting characters and fighting powerful enemies. It's got all the RPG game essentials, tons of amazing gameplay, and incredibly fleshed out endgame content. So, if you're a fan of this stuff, you're going to love it. You'll also get rewards valued at more than $200 by downloading it using my link in the description and the pinned comment. It's free, you won't regret it, and I would really appreciate it. Now let's get on to the content. Old Banders says Limbus Company is probably the only big gacha game you won't get bullied for playing. This isn't completely true because I think the same goes for Reverse 1999, but that's where it stops honestly. People will call Battle Cats a kid's game, all of Reddit hates Arknights for some reason, Kurobots will bully you for playing any Hoyo game and vice versa, and if you play Dragon Ball Legends I will personally bully you. So this is a 4 out of 5. Leo Dude Sebastian says every gacha game by the mere fact they are a gacha game should be rated 18+. This is an instant 5 out of 5. I'm pretty sure the only current big gacha game with an 18+ rating in any region at all is Uma Musume because it depicts gambling. Meanwhile, every gacha game ever is literally gambling. Teens are stupid, gachas should be 18+, and especially because of the amount of goon bait in these games. Wiki says the story isn't getting longer, our attention span is getting shorter. I mean, based off of the fact that this is literally just not true, 0 out of 5. Our attention spans are probably getting screwed by a few factors, but the story is also literally getting longer, specifically in Star Rail and Genshin. Speaking of story, Innovation iPhone says Arknights' storytelling is not the best, and unfortunately, I cannot defend Arknights here. The story is incredibly yappy and wordy. This is somehow a 4 out of 5. Nothing here says Arknights isn't glazed enough. Based, 5 out of 5. Hamster over here has a huge comment, but it basically boils down to new gen gacha gamers are spoiled brats. Well, when talking about games like Dragon Ball Legends, they obviously have it worse than Genshin. However, just because DBL is less F2P friendly than Genshin doesn't mean that Genshin players can't complain when they feel robbed. And the same goes for all new gacha games, especially because there are much older gacha games like Battle Cats and Arknights that are insanely generous. Hamster says that games that are too generous don't make money, but Arknights makes tens of millions of dollars every month and Battle Cats isn't very far behind either. Gacha players are always going to spend money when they like a character. All gacha games have to do is make likable characters and it will absolutely make money. This is a pretty bad and gatekeepy take, I cannot lie, and it radiates, oh my god, back in my day you normies wouldn't have survived energy, so 0 out of 5. Sugasano says glazing should only be allowed for games that deserve it. Yes, 5 out of 5, absolutely. I honestly get a little irked when people tell me to not glaze games like Limbus, Arknights, and Battle Cats, or when people like Mr. Canadian Bullet and say the glaze is getting out of hand, because genuinely these games absolutely deserve it. Other than Project Moon being the best gacha game company on the planet hands down, because they donate huge amounts to charity, are super sweet and rewarding to their employees, and are generous to their players as well, but Hypergriffin Pono's also made some of the most F2P friendly gacha games out there, and I will always glaze that. All 3 of these games have a lot of passion poured into them and it shows. I will always glaze them unless they make a mistake. The moment any of these games make a big enough mistake, just as I am the first to glaze them, I will be the first to shit on them. Just because I glaze them doesn't mean I don't also hold them to the same standard I hold every other gacha game. Fauges, wow, that's a great name, says fan service and self-inserting are insanely harmful to this damn community. I agree. I absolutely hate goon bait. It's the biggest reason why I barely ever speak about games like Azure Lane and Nikke, and why I actually quit Zenless Zone Zero after seeing their latest trailers. A lot of people are gonna try and defend Goombait with, oh my god, it's a gacha game, of course it's gonna have Goombait. And while, yes, that's true, but that does not negate the fact that it's still harmful. And self-inserting got so bad that some psychopaths tortured cats because of a male character making them insecure. I don't think Goombait is ever gonna stop. I don't really care about it stopping, but I'm gonna say I don't like it, and when a game is overly Goombait and parasocial, I'm not going to cover it. 5 out of 5 take. Epic Wave says spending your money in a gacha game is basically knowing that you will lose the value of your money because of power creep. I don't really agree. While in many gacha games this is true, you know, Honkai Star Rail specifically, it's also completely untrue in other games. Other than the big three, Limbus, Battle Cats, and Arknights, Fate Grand Order is also a gacha game where I would say characters in it have almost infinite value. Any money you spend in this game at all will always be valuable. Now, it's not going to be worth it because FGO's gacha system is absolutely terrible for both F2P and whales, but the value you spent will never fall because every unit has stayed and is going to stay 100% viable everywhere. Someone who pulled a unit back on FGO launch can use that unit now and still clear everything the game has to offer with it. So, to Mr. Epic Wave I say, please find some better gacha games to play. This is a 2 out of 5 take. And El Gojira says Wuwa in general is superior to Genshin. Yes, this is just true in every way. The gameplay is miles better, the character design is better, the graphics are better, the story is better. Maybe Genshin has a single quality of life feature over Wuwa, but who's gonna care about one little thing? This is a 5 out of 5 take. Speaking of FGO, this person, sorry I can't pronounce your name, says FGO is the best F2P game to play right now, and it's basically because of what I just said about the game. However, I did also mention that the gacha system is pretty ass. Now for just clearing the content, FGO is the single most F2P friendly gacha game, hands down. However, FGO is a story game and most of its players are really into the characters. F2P players are really going to struggle to collect every character they want. You can beat the game with whatever character you have, but you can't beat the game with whatever character you want, as an F2P player of course. So 2.5 out of 5 take. Gaoshi says the end game of every single gacha game is trash except Arknights. I raise you Battle Cats, so this is just not true. It's not really 0 out of 5, just 1 out of 5. To top it all off, Toyama Yuki says there is still not enough Arknights glaze. Based, 5 out of 5. And that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. This was super fun to make. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Train Discord server for a fun and lovely community to hang out with. Make sure to check out Raid using my link in the description for $200 worth of free goodies. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.